there, my name is Miss Cindy, and I am the College Success Coach here with Arts for Learning Miami. My students call me Miss Cindy or Miss S, and so can you. Today's activity is called My GPA Matters, where students will be taught how to calculate their GPA. It is important for students to understand how to calculate their GPA so that they can stay on track or get back on track. This is a perfect activity for students who are in high school or students who are taking high school level courses. Calculating your GPA is not a difficult task as most students may believe. There are skills that they already possess that we're going to tap in today during this activity. Simple skills such as note-taking skills, critical thinking, and simple math to include multiply, divide, as well as add. Students will be able to use these skill sets in hopes of not just developing, but creating an action plan using the tools that we'll be discussing. For this activity, there's a couple of materials you're going to need. Number one, writing utensil, whether it be a pen or a pencil, preferably pencil. Number two, you're going to need your electronic device, whether it be your cell phone, laptop, iPad, tablet, or even your desktop. And then number three, something to write on, whether it be loose leaf paper or copy paper. Take a moment and gather your materials so we can go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and log into your student portal, depending on the school you attend, and for us to go ahead and look at your grades. This is how we should be able to see your grades. Right now, we are in the last quarter of the last 9 weeks of the 2019-2020 school year. And so you should see you have grades for the first 9 weeks, the second 9 weeks, third, and the fourth. The fourth 9 weeks is not complete, but you can see where you are in terms of your classes, right? So on your paper that you have, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna create a table. Your table should say class, and you would write your classes as you see it on your student portal. So if your first class is barbering, you're going to write 1 barbering. If the second class is chemistry, you're going to write 2 chemistry. So go ahead and jot down your classes all together for the entire school year. Okay? So here with this, I want you to pay attention that this student has a total of 9 classes, but for whatever reason, the student was in criminal justice operation in the beginning, and then they transitioned into building construction. And so this is the reason why you'll notice that either he has a B for the first 9 weeks, and then the final remaining of the semesters he has for the criminal justice. It doesn't make a difference what it says, but all I know is this class is associated with this class, although it's different. So on my paper here, it's not really supposed to be 9 classes, it's 8. So now that you wrote down the classes, what you're also going to now do is create a line. I prefer squiggly lines. You can do straight. It all depends on you. And then now we're going to write first semester. Then do another line, second, another line, third, another line, fourth, another line, and then final. Why? Because in your school year, the school system provides you with 4 9 weeks to get to the final grade. So let's say if you don't like the grade that you receive in the first 9 weeks, no problem. Do a better job in the second, or the third, or the fourth. And so now we're going to go through the process of putting in the grades we see. Now it's important for you to create a key on the bottom. If you'll notice here, I'm going to write key. And my key is going to give me information pertaining to my points that I get associated with every grade. So an A is 4 points, a B is 3 points, a C is 2 points, a D is 1 point, and unfortunately an F is 0, okay? This key is going to help you with putting the points associated with the grades. All right, and so now if you notice on your grade book, you're going to start writing the grades from left to right for the first, second, and third 9 weeks for each class. So what I'm saying for you to do is you're going to write, what did you get for the first 9 weeks for your first class? What did you get for the second 9 weeks for your first class? And what did you get for the third 9 weeks for your first class? We're not going to write the fourth 9 weeks because it's still in session and there's room for you to improve. So it's important for you to make certain that you write the grades for the first, second, and third 9 weeks because you can't go back and fix it. Unless it was an error, then yes, you can go back and fix it. And so for now, we're going to do the same thing from left to right, the grades for the first, second, third 9 weeks for the rest of the classes. So this student got a B, a D, and a C. So now this is how your paper should look. If you notice, I have all of my classes. I have my grades for the first 9 weeks, my grades for the second 9 weeks, my grades for the third 9 weeks. Now it's time for us to go ahead and put the points associated with each grade. So a B, as we already identified, is what? 3 points, right? So if you notice on the sheet here, a B is 3 points. So what am I going to do? I am going to now go and put some points down on every grade that I received. So a C is 2 points, a B is 3, and I want you to do the same on your sheet of paper. So here I am, I'm done. So now, remember how we saw on this right here for the student, we see where they are now in actuality. But everything happens for a reason. And so we know, sometimes the teacher doesn't put in a grade or there's an error or something. What I want you to do is not write what you see you have currently. I want you to write what you believe you're going to work hard to get. So if this student has a B, this 2.5 is a low B. Now, the school is almost over. The semester is almost over. So for me, for this student, I'm going to go ahead and assume or project that they're going to go ahead and get a B again. So when I write B, I automatically put my points next to it. Here, this student got a C. For the chemistry, it's a 1.96. That's a very, very low C. However, stuff can happen, right? And so if you notice too, the 1.96 for the fourth 9 weeks is higher than the C in the third. So because I don't have the student right in front of me, I can't ask the student to tell me what they're going to work for. So I'm going to assume and project what most likely they're going to get, which is another C. So you're going to do the same thing for the fourth 9 week, but remember, put in what you know that you're going to work for in hopes of getting the grade that you want for the fourth 9 weeks. Now it's time for us to do math, right? So when it comes down to calculating your GPA, it's important for you to write down the following: the total number of classes. In your case, you're going to write your total. But in this student's case, I'm going to write 8. The total number of points. Okay? So here now, when you're calculating your GPA for each class, what you would need to do is start from the left and go to the right. And remember I told you we have our trusted calculator, so it should not be rocket science, don't bust your brain. Just go ahead and use the tools you have, which is a calculator. Let's go from left to right. You're going to add the grades you received in each class from left to right. When I say grades, I'm referring to the point system, the point value, right? So from left to right, here the student had a B, which is 3 points, a C, which is 2, 3, which is a B, and then a B, which is another 3, equals 11. So 11, right? This is the add part. So 11 divided by how many semesters or terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 divided by 4 is 2.75. A 2.75 is a low B. So the final grade is going to be a B. What's the point associated with this B? It is 3. Now, understand, yes, you earned a 2.75, but at the end of the day, the final grade is a B. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead and do it for the next class. Once we have all of our final grades listed, right? And along with the points, you notice you have all the final grades listed. We're no longer concerned of what the classes are. We're now concerned of what the final grades are. Now that we have the grades and the points, we need to add from top to bottom, right? So that we can see the total number of points. So you start from the top. He had a 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Total number of points is 18. So remember how when we started off, I told you would need to know the total number of classes, right? Your total number of classes, which was 8. The total number of points for the final grade is 18. When we calculate 18, which represents the total number of points, divided by the total number of classes, this student's GPA for his school year is a 2.25. A 2.25 is what? A C. Now, depending on the grade level you're in, whether it be 9th, 10th, or 11th, or 12th, that is only for your current school year. In another session, we'll go ahead and see how to calculate the GPA from if you're a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, how would you see if your GPA is calculated correctly by using the same method, but instead focusing on the final grades for your 9th, your 10th, 11th grade year, or the final grades for the previous year. The approach is the same, the system is the same. It's just a matter of strategy as well as how to properly write down or take notes on what you see on your course history or your high school transcript. But for now, this is the strategy that we use to go ahead and calculate your GPA. It's long, but it's necessary because we've already completed the first 9 weeks, the second 9 weeks, and the third. Right now, there's still room for you to earn the GPA that you started off in the beginning of the school year with the notion or the vision or a goal. Always keep your goal in mind at the forefront. Why? Because your GPA matters. If you see by the second 9 weeks right? Because your GPA is calculated twice. Your GPA is counted one time in January and then one time in June. If you see that your GPA in January is not what you want, you have the third and the fourth 9 weeks to fix it. My motto, start off strong in the first and the second, so that once the third 9 weeks come, you're good and settled with your grade, that the fourth 9 weeks you can just ride the wave. This is a quick lesson or activity on how to properly calculate your GPA. Why? Because your GPA matters. Every year the goal is so that you can end up with the GPA that you want by the end of your junior year, so that way when it's time your senior year by October or November, the GPA that you use is a GPA that you're really proud of to apply to colleges and for scholarships. Hopefully you understood the lesson. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Until next time, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.